sisters, and welcome to Old Fat and Fasting. This is our weekly wrap up where we talk about things that happened this past week and things you can look forward to next week. One of the new things for this week you saw when you started this video, which is we have a new introduction to our weekly wrap up videos. And that is just part of something that we started doing this week, which is just more animation in general in our videos, which we're really excited about. We've been having a lot of fun.
I was going to say they're a little addictive to do.
They are. They are. And you can find yourself sucked into them and spending lots of time on them. We've both done that this week too, but it's fun. And we're going to start using more of that in our videos. So we're both really excited about that.
Yes.
And speaking of animation, another thing that's new this week is Lori created a trailer for the Old Fat and Fasting channel, which hopefully you've seen. If you haven't, you can go to our channel page and check it out. And it just basically tells the story of why we decided to start Old Fat and Fasting. And I think Lori did an awesome job on it.
Oh, shucks.
One thing I'll say is the two girls in the video are really skinny. And Lori and I talked about this, how it kind of made us mad that when you create and I think we have found this with all the animation software we've tried so far, you can't pick people that aren't skinny.
Well, we have an intro today for our weigh-in, and she's a healthy girl. She's a curvy girl.
That's true.
That's the only one.
Yeah, and you can't find any that have gray hair, or I haven't so far. So, yeah, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. But anyway, the videos are still good.
They are. They are.
Or we think so.
I at least got the brown hair, blonde hair. I was able to.
Yeah, that's true. So, and I thought too, there's a picture with each of us standing with a guy, right? And Lori has a husband, but I don't have a husband. So I'm going to say that's my son standing with me.
I love them both. I love them both.
Yeah, they're both great guys.
Last week, we talked about how I was going to try to avoid gaining weight on the upcoming camping trip because I had gained it in the previous one and we couldn't figure out what it was. And I texted Krista every single time I ate and drank on this trip. And I think we have now figured out that it is definitely buying food at the grocery store.
Yeah.
It had to be because I didn't gain this time. I lost.
That's right.
The day we left to go camping, I weighed 162.5, which was Thursday the 22nd, and we came home Monday the 26th, and I was down to 160.2. And everything I ate, except for 2 salad bars, but tried to keep that salad dressing lower. Everything else is stuff I made. I did drink the Corona hard seltzers, and it didn't seem to have any effect on it. And today, the update for my weight is I'm at 158.9, which puts me down 3.6 pounds this week.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited about that.
That's huge.
Yay! My second digit changed. I went out of the 160s into the 150s, and Krista and I just love it when that second digit changes.
Oh, yeah.
The day before I went into the 150s, my eating window wasn't closed yet. And usually the last thing I eat before I hit the start fast button on the live fasting app is I will eat a wedge of the Laughing Cow cheese. And I open the refrigerator, and I'm so bad about having conversations with myself in my head. I had the conversation in my head. You do it too?
She hears voices. No, I was going to say she hears voices.
But they're always happy voices. But I said, if your weight is not in the 150s tomorrow, is this wedge of cheese worth it?
There you go.
And I said, nope, it would not be worth keeping me out of the 150s. So a lot of making decisions on what you'll eat and won't eat, or when you'll eat or won't eat, is just, it's a mind game that you have to play with yourself. And that's what I did, standing there in front of my open refrigerator, looking at my Laughing Cow. And I'm glad I said no. Would that wedge of cheese kept me out of it? Probably not, but That's just how my mind works, and it wasn't worth the risk.
So you were going to eat that before you started your fast again?
Yes.
Okay.
And I
And
wasn't
then,
hungry.
okay, that's what I was going to say, because you said that's what you usually do. So I was like, so why did you decide not to do it this time? Because you weren't hungry.
Yeah, and I guess I've just gotten in such a routine of that's how I close my fast.
Yeah. Which isn't a problem. I
Right.
guess I was just wondering, since it's what you usually do, why did you second guess it this time?
I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, it wanting to avoid anything that would keep me out of the 150s and realizing I wasn't hungry. My mouth wanted it,
Yeah.
but my stomach didn't.
Right.
So that's
Right.
that's a training process, I think, for people of
Oh,
just
absolutely.
eating out of habit and grazing and
Yeah.
oh, I'll walk by and I'll grab one of these and
Yeah. Yeah. So much of fasting is mental. It's
yeah.
here. So much of it. Yeah.
It is. And I often have
It's not,
trouble with my up here.
we all do. We all do. And speaking of snacking and grazing, my weight went in the opposite direction, excuse me, of Lori's this week. Um, Last Friday, I was 193.8, and today I'm 194.6. So I'm up 0.8 pounds, which isn't huge, not a big deal, except that I think I talked about in another video that I like to not just look back a week, but look back like a month and see how much I've lost in the last month. And if I'm averaging like 2 to 3 pounds lost a week, then I'm okay with it. But this gain this week puts me under 2 pounds average a week. So I'm not thrilled about that. But um, there's two things that I think contributed to it. So which I'm just going to correct this week, and hopefully I'll have like 3.6 pounds lost next week, and I'll be back on track. One was I let myself snack too much this past week. So we've talked about how sometimes we'll have a little bite of cheese or something if the hunger gets bad, which honestly, the hunger gets bad very rarely for me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I'll take a bite of cheese if I feel the acid reflux starting. But that wasn't why I snacked this week. Honestly, it was just because, like what Lori was just saying, her mouth wanted it. My mouth wanted peanut butter and cheese. And so, I did much more of that than I should have. And the second thing was I didn't do a fasting schedule this week, and I've always done a fasting schedule. So I think I probably need that just to like keep me on track.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lori has talked about before, she likes like having a structure. It's like, just tell me what to do
Yes.
and I'll do it and I'll check it
Hold
off
my
as I do.
hand.
Right. And I think I just need that with a fasting schedule, at least for now. So this week, I'm just gonna try to get myself, not gonna try.
You're going to.
I'm going to. I'm really working on not saying I'm going to try, but saying I'm going to. I'm going to get my head back in the right place, and I'm going to do a fasting schedule. So hopefully that'll get me back on the right track. And maybe I'll have a 3.6 pound loss next week like Lori did this week.
Hey, you can. So this segment, I'll admit that I'm not exactly sure where Krista and I left off in the conversation because the batteries in my microphone died and I replaced those and then we got sidetracked just on talking because that's what we do. So
Yep.
Krista, I'm going to come back and ask you on the eating errors that you made this past week and the weight that you gained back. Are you going to adjust your fasting schedule? Like, are you going to do a 48-hour fast instead of a 24-hour fast? Or, do you have any plans this week to adjust your fasting schedule to get the weight off that you gained this week? That was worrying.
Yeah, because I think that's something Lori and I both do when our weight is going in the wrong direction is we try to do longer fast. So yeah, I am going to do that this week. I looked on my fasting app and figured out that my average fast over the last, I think it was 2 weeks, was 48 hours. No, 47 hours. So I think what I'll do this week is I'll do at least 48 hours each time. When I make my fasting schedule, I'll schedule it for 48 hours each time. But also keep in mind that, one of the basic rules of fasting, if you get to the end of that time and you're not hungry, then you don't have to eat. Just eat when you get hungry. So I'm going to do schedule 48 hours, but go longer if I'm not hungry. And then I am not, absolutely not going to give myself a long eating window. I'm going to give myself 1 hour tops. And that might sound crazy to people who don't fast, but when you'll be surprised when you start fasting how quickly you get full.
Holy smokes.
Sometimes. I know one of the things I thought when I first started fasting was, I'm just going to gorge myself when I get to eat, but you don't. It's like, and it has to do, it's sciencey stuff, but it has to do with like your hormones start adjusting. You got hormones that control when you feel hungry, and all that stuff starts to,
Ghrelin.
yeah, something like that.
Science.
So anyway, you aren't famished when you come off your fast, at least not after you've done a few of them.
Well, and I think
So
your
anyway.
stomach shrinks, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you fill it up quicker. Yeah. So I will give myself 1 hour. I will schedule myself a 1 hour window, but chances are very, very high that I won't actually eat for an hour if I stick to the rule to stop eating when I'm comfortably full, not when I'm stuffed,
Mhm.
when I'm comfortably full. So yeah, I'll do longer fast, shorter eating windows. If you look at Lori's and my, is that the right way to say that? Weight tracker on the website, you'll see it's literally up and down,
Mhm.
but overall it's down. So that's fine if it goes up, down then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's to be expected.
It's normal.
Yep. We did 3 new videos this week. The first one was another recipe from Lori for shrimp salad, which of course you can find on the website as well. The other one was the second video in our How Do I Start Fasting series. And this one was about talking to other people about fasting, whether you should or not, and if you decide to, how to. So I think of it as basically it's the video we did about talking to your doctor, except this one is other people in your life. And then Lori did a short video this week about how she makes keto-friendly whipping cream or whipped cream. And we're going to start doing more of these shorts. YouTube lets you do, they call them shorts, and they're under a minute. So we're going to start doing more of those. I'm going to do one next week where I try bullet coffee because I've never had it before, but Lori says it's amazing.
So good.
So I'm going to do that one. And I don't know, honestly, what other ones will be. We've talked about, there are so many times during the day that we're like, oh, this would be something great to share with people, but it wouldn't take us 10 minutes to do.
Right.
So we're just going to, when things like that occur to us, we're just going to start doing shorts to just share little tips and tricks, or like we said, we might do little confessionals. I'm really tempted to eat the peanut butter right now. Or I did eat the peanut butter, or whatever. Just all these little daily things that go through our head. This would be great to share with people.
Mm-hmm.
So you
It
should
would.
be seeing a lot more of those in the coming weeks.
And here at the end of the video, we usually start talking about what we're going to be doing next week. And one thing I'm going to be doing is something we've talked about in the past of working your fast around a special event or making adjustments in your schedule to allow for something. We are moving our son to Illinois next week from North Carolina, and there's a sushi. I know, it's my baby, my Andrew. Anyway, there's a sushi restaurant that we love here, Mr. Tokyo's, and he wants to eat there before we go. It's like our family favorite restaurant. We haven't been in a long time because, rice. But he wants to go there, and I'm going to adjust my schedule. I know I'm going to at least fast the day or two after. I'll have to see what my weight is, but they have an all-you-can-eat sushi for like $20 or something.
Oh boy.
And we leave there, and I am not kidding. We are usually moaning, oh my gosh, they lost money on me, and just literally sick. I have left there so full my back hurts.
Oh wow.
But I get so full now that instead of getting
Yes.
the all you can eat, I'm going to just get their one roll that I like. And then if I'm sure that will fill me up, but if it doesn't, they also have, clear soup and other things. But that one sushi roll, holy smokes, do I love it because it has cream cheese in it.
Oh,
And I don't like nigiri, and this is wrapped in soy paper. So it's just delicious. So I know I'm getting that. I'm not going to get the all you can eat one. I should never get all you can eat, but I'm just going to order a la carte. And I will probably fast the day before, maybe 48 hours, and then I'll see what my weight is the next day and fast after that. But I'll let you all know on next week's wrap up what my weight was before and what it was the day after and what adjustments I made, and obviously my weigh-in for that day. So we'll see how it works.
Yeah, that's one of those times, we've talked about when you have special events coming up or something. I think the way you put it the other day was ask yourself, is it worth it, for me to eat something I normally wouldn't eat?
Yeah.
And in this case, it is definitely worth it, right? So, yeah, just have to just have to work around it.
Yes. And I will. Yeah. It's a great restaurant. They have amazing food.
Yeah. Next week, we'll be doing at least one more video in our series, How Do I Start Fasting? The next one will be about basically how to get your kitchen and your life ready for your very first fast. And then in addition to that, we'll just have at least a couple more, I would think, shorts next week. We really don't have a schedule for those, just kind of whenever inspiration strikes, I guess.
Right. Like the whipped cream last night. I made the whipped cream because I was making fruit for dessert.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of last night, I was supposed to end my fast last night at like 7. I wasn't hungry and I still haven't eaten. So if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. So key. Anyway, I made it for the right. But I made the whipped cream to go on the fruit for Steve and Andrew. And don't be intimidated by making homemade whipped cream. It takes 2 minutes. A monkey could make it. But another thing about next week's videos is I will be in Kentucky part of next week with you.
Yes.
On taking Andrew to Illinois. We're stopping through Kentucky to visit my family. And so there may be videos of Krista and I in the same room.
There might be.
Right?
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Or there may be videos you have to make without me because I'll be in Illinois.
True.
But I bet there's shorts I can make while eating on the road.
Oh, I'm sure. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Because I'm sure you'll stop in places where the choices aren't great. Right?
Yes.
Or where the choices are really good.
So good to be so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That'll wrap it up for today, fasters. We'll see you again on Monday. We hope you have a great weekend and happy fasting.
Bye-bye.